Here we go. Oh! Oh, nice! Big, really big. Hey guys, welcome to today's episode where I'm gonna start off fishing the creek with a guy named John from Creek Fishing Adventures.
Holy cow!
Then I'm gonna be joined by Gene Jensen for a guided fishing trip, singing some children's nursery rhymes, and possibly tipping some cows. I'm gonna go out there and see if I can't make it happen. This is really the essence of what kayak fishing is all about. This is my kayak. Get yourself one. There he is. Yeah! Look at that tank! Fish on! Oh my God! Good night!
Oh yeah!
All right, guys, so we got the River 119 tied down. I've had a love affair with creeks and rivers my whole life, and today I get to share it with one of the best in the game. So for the longest time, I've wanted to hook up with this guy, John Dalton, who creates these amazing creek fishing adventure videos. Now, he had recently picked up a bona fide RVR 119, and it didn't take much arm twisting to get John to agree to jump on the river.
I like creek fishing because it's always changing. It's usually shaded. It's usually away from people. And I started looking for YouTubers that did a lot of creek fishing. And there was a few out there, but not a lot that really dove into like really small streams. So I kind of picked it up, started making videos for fun. And now for 3.5 years, that's what I've done full time. I'm loving it.
I think that beaver decided he bit off more than he could chew. Look right here. Look how big that base is. He probably said, yeah, I'll find me a skinnier tree. One of my favorite things about river fishing is the uncertainty component. When we headed to Locust Fork, we had no idea what we were getting into. And that uncertainty kind of compounded when we floated for the first 45 minutes to an hour. And not only did we not catch a fish, we didn't even see a fish. So we were already starting to second guess ourselves. We might ought to just put our head down and there we go. I was literally about to say, we should just put our head down and paddle. We rounded this one bend, and the rest of the trip was absolute pandemonium. Here we go. It got to the point where everywhere we were casting, if we didn't get a fish on immediately, we were kind of like, man, what's going on? Because we've been 3 minutes without catching a fish. Oh my God. He's like, come on, let's go down the river.
Dang, it's one after another. This little pool here is loaded with fish.
Oh, dude, that was a big fish.
I got him.
Oh,
nice. That is a nice dude.
Nice.
Ooh, man, these are some really good river fish today.
Dude, I got another one.
Oh, Chad's hooked up.
Oh, this is a real good fish. Oh, yeah, bro.
Man.
Dude, he's doing everything but pulling a knife on me to get back to that treetop.
They don't care. They're just wild and gonna eat whatever they want to eat.
They're just mean. Oh, yeah. God, that's a pretty fish right there.
16 3/4. Really nice spotted bass. And of course, these are older river fish. You want to take care of these guys. Let's go ahead and put them back in. Man, it's been slow. We've gone for an hour and a half, hardly caught anything. Last 10 minutes, we've had 2 or 3 really good bites.
So there's a bunch of different ways you can approach fishing a creek. You can hike in to specific pools. You can wade right down the middle of the creek fishing upstream, or you can do my favorite thing, which is to jump in the kayak and float from pool to pool to pool, hop out of your kayak and use your kayak as kind of like a hybrid set of waders. It's that perfect 1-2 punch that allows you to find those fish that maybe have never seen a lure or a person. Get out of here, dude. Oh my God.
That's bigger. Oh my.
Look at this thing. Bro, look at that. Dude, that's a big river spot.
That is a big spot.
Holy crap, look at that thing. Look how they light up. If I could get my skin tattooed like that, I would. All right, we're gonna get this guy back in the river. Take off, buddy. Do your thing. God. All right, well, I can just put my feet up now and just float, and I'm good.
Yeah, you're done, right?
I'm done.
That's a pretty good way to end it.
Chad Hoover Fishing is brought to you by Dakota Lithium. Go farther, last longer, play harder. Kayak Bass Fishing. Kayak Bass Fishing's premier resource. Power Pole Micro Anchor. Swift, silent, secure, and small. Yak Attack. Make it yours. Anchor Wizard. Revolutionizing the boat anchoring world. OPS. Outdoor Product Solutions. Here we go. Taking it for a walk. Round to this side of the boat. Come on over here, buddy. Bink. Oh, oh. Don't go fishing by waterfalls. Something, something, something. Something, 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 something. I don't know any of the other words. Blah, 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 blah.
Now we know any of these places there could be 20-inch fish, and there's lots of good ones, and that's one thing I love about the Alabama bass. They just get big in these smaller waters. There's one, and there could be a bunch of them. Oh, good one, good one.
If you ever ask yourself, hey, is John, is he like a hardcore, like super serious fisherman? The answer to that question is just look over there. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's hardcore. What I meant was, does he take time to soak in the little things?
So as far as fishing the creeks, I kind of started out only wading. In the last 2 or 3 years, I've really gotten into kayaks, and now they have the kayaks like this Bonafide RVR that's like for this type of stuff.
So the thing that Bonafide Kayaks does is they make specialized watercraft. They make boats specifically designed for specific purposes, and the RVR was designed specifically for river fishing. So it has some integrated design concepts. It has some hull performance characteristics for advanced river kayak fishing. Little rock bass. I'm telling you, if these things get to be 4 pounds, you couldn't swim in these waters. All right, guys, so let's take a second and look at how I've outfitted my Bonafide RVR 119 for this river fishing adventure. So this paddle boss pulls double duty. You can slide your paddle under here, but it also serves to keep your rod tips separated and organized so that when you're going through skinny water or trees or things like that, your rod tips don't get pulled off to the side. You know, coming on back, I have a kayak cushion to add a little bit of extra comfort. The seat is adjustable, so it allows you to really trim the boat out for how you like it to perform. Whether you fish in tournaments or you just like to record your catch for your personal satisfaction, the integrated catch board stager is pretty sweet. It's lower on one side than the other, and you can actually use it on top of the rod so that when you catch a fish, you don't have to move all your rods to take a photo. One thing that is really cool is that they set a second spot up in the boat. So there's a hole under the seat, and then the board locks in place perfectly out of the way. Probably the coolest feature on this boat and on any river boat that I'm aware of is the integrated anchor wizard. The line actually runs internal to the boat so that when you open this up, it allows you to lower the anchor down. So when you're turning that eddy and you want to drop the anchor in hold position, it's right there by your seat, easy to access. The tank well on this boat is super big. It's big enough for the biggest black pack out there, but I have found that either the 13x13 or 13x16 is ideal. I mounted one of the new Gridlock mounts on the top so that my Yak Attack Portrait Pro will be used to mount my GoPro dead center. So that way, no matter which way I cast or which way I hook the fish, I get a good vantage point of it. So guys, the thing about this river platform is you can truly make it yours. You can motorize it, you can put power poles on it. The sky's the limit when it comes to rigging this thing, but for this river fishing adventure, I really wanted to go with the essentials. There you have it, that's my setup for the Bonafide RVR 119. Now it's time to get back to the water. You know, one of the biggest dangers when it comes to river fishing is after you hook a good fish and it spins you, if you're sitting there fighting the fish and you're going downstream not looking where you're going and you're distracted, going downstream backwards can be a problem in some cases. For years, I've always put the anchor wizard way up front because I like to be able to reach it when I'm standing up. But having it right next to the seat and having the line integrated into the hull makes it nice for when you're going down the river and you stick your paddle in and you eddy out and you want to throw right upstream, but you also want to be able to hold position and not have to think about it. Makes that probably my favorite feature on the RVR 119. There's another one in that seam. So when you spin back around, drop your anchor and throw back where you just caught one, there's usually another one waiting right behind him. Oh, come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. All right, guys, we got about one bend left before we make it to our takeout. I hope you guys have enjoyed this Alabama adventure. Listen, if you want to get out and try to get into some of these wild places, check out the Bonafide RVR 119, or as I like to call it, the river. Got to thank my good buddy John for showing up and helping finish this thing with an exclamation point. Again, guys, get out on the rivers, take care of them while you're there, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Hey guys, we're switching things up a little bit. We're doing a guided trip. I've got a repeat customer in Jackie who also brought his buddy Keith over from the state of Georgia. By using my guide service setup through the Fishing Chaos app, we were able to connect, do a North Alabama bass fishing adventure with yours truly. We're about to go chase some Bama Big Mouth. Here we go. Jackie's a relatively new angler, a little bit later in life, which means he's established his professional career. So it's really cool to be able to take an angler who had made that significant investment in quality gear and teach them how to get the best out of it. And if we're gonna talk about teaching people to fish, why would I not invite the guy that teaches the world to fish, none other than Mr. Gene Jensen, the Fluke Masters, which allowed us to have a little bit more of that one-on-one. I could teach these guys some things, Gene could teach them some things, and everybody catches more fish. Well, I tried to take the subpar water in the middle. Right out the gate, we're on the board in Gunnersville. You got him? Nice, we have a double. Yeah. So we pull up here and there's a giant hanging up in this pocket right here. And he did the cardinal sin of inadvertently hitting his throttle thing and it and then scared that fish off. So what does he do? Turns around and make a clutch cast out there in the pad. Hey, making adjustments, that's what it's about. One of the most rewarding things about having a lot of knowledge and expertise in a certain field is sharing that, because you know that it's going to benefit that angler, you know, for the rest of their life, and they're going to build on what you shared with them. And for me, it's the reason why I'm kicking myself that I didn't start doing this sooner. I'm clearing the way of all the dinks for you. Go tell your fat sister that we are here.
Oh, Chad's amazing. He helped me dial in how to cast just right, how to hit my target, and be stealthy coming up on where you believe fish are.
My guide trips, what I want to do is I want to teach people how to do it so they can go to their own home lake, or they can go back to the lake we're at and catch fish. So later on down the road, they don't need a guide. They can go out and do it on their own. Got it. The hook just fell out. You guys saw how fast I netted that fish. That's from a lot of practice. Early on when I was kayak fishing, I'd have my net out in front of me and it'd just get in the way. So I learned that the rod is usually in my left hand, so the net is always going to be over my right shoulder. And I also learned that if I have to lean back to grab a net, I still maintain tension on the ride. Good one. It's all one motion. Bring it up, lean back, grab the net, lay it out in front of you. Yes. Pretty cool. Gotta have a leverage landing net to do it though. Dude, this whole bank is a bluegill bed.
I think this whole edge down through here is.
Yep. Bass tend to spawn separate from each other. They want to be pretty much secluded. But when bluegill spawn, their spawning areas look like a honeycomb.
So anytime you locate these large clusters of beds, one of the things that I like to do is target areas adjacent to it. I'm looking for the closest grass line, the closest brush pile, the closest thing that I call the spot on the spot. The one thing you do have to think about is you want to mimic that type of bait, because for the most part, those fish are trying to get one big bite where they can then go sit and lay by a log and take 2-3 days to digest it.
Too much fun.
They ought to be in upper slot dinks up in this mill full just waiting for something. snack to swim by, like that. Well, boys, that's what you come to Guntersville for right here. This one came with its own side salad. I have no holds barred when it comes to guiding. I'm gonna take you fishing where I would go that day if I was fishing by myself. And you know, depending on the spot, you might have to learn how to sweat and drag your kayak through the woods. You might have to be, you know, comfortable around moving water, or you might have to get comfortable around livestock. It just depends on where we're fishing that day.
It is very neat to go to one of Chad's little secret honey holes. You know, you see it on the big screen and you don't realize exactly where he's at, and you're like, oh man, I'd like to go there.
He's been very forthcoming with all of his fishing spots out here. So far, it's been producing pretty good fish. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey Gene, you grew up in the country. Did you guys ever do any cow tipping?
We thought about it.
You know, anybody can tip a cow while it's asleep. But I got $5 if you can jump up there on the bank and tip one of them while they're awake.
I'll pass. Why am I gonna go cow tip? Especially when they're awake, that's just stupid.
Neither Gene nor I are gonna be accused of missing very many meals. But pretty much when he's filming with me, I'm taking care of the tab. So at least for once, I wanted him to earn his meal. Come on, Gene, just tip one of the little ones. It'd be like pushing down a little kid. You do that all the time. How about this? I'll buy lunch.
You're gonna buy lunch anyway.
Dang it.
He always pays for lunch. Again, stupid.
Oh my gosh, there it is right there. Come on, buddy.
Let's get that one back in the water and we'll go tear up some ribs. Chad Hoover Fishing is brought to you by Dakota Lithium. Go farther, last longer, play harder. Power Pole Micro Anchor. Swift, silent, secure, and small. Yak Attack. Make it yours. NorthAlabama.org, where you can reel in the adventure of a lifetime. Yeti. Built for the wild. Fishing Chaos. The best fishing app for your tackle box. Now, when it comes to fishing with Gene, there's two things you got to keep in mind. You absolutely have to feed this guy, because if you don't feed him, he gets cranky and ornery and mean, but there's kind of a sweet spot, because if you feed him too much, he ends up sleeping next to a tree, daydreaming, or he just gets drunk on carbohydrates and he's like one of the goofiest dudes you've ever met.
I got a new friend. He's been sitting there for probably last 5 minutes or so. Won't let go. Not even when I cast. Watch this. Still there? Ain't that the darndest thing?
Okay, so that's not completely fair to throw Gene under the bus, because let's face it, we all get a little goofy if we eat too many carbs and it's hot outside, and, you know, do you know what time it is? I mean, anybody can catch big fish. It takes some skill to get the lure in the side of one that's got a mouth that's like this tiny right there. Nice.
Sure wish the bass were as sporty as you are.
All right, you guys see me getting out of the kayak a lot and doing a lot of like walking through the woods. One thing you always need to be cognizant of, especially when you paddle up and bump in bushes, is these dudes right here. That is the southern cottonmouth, or water moccasin as you call it. Be wary of those dudes right there, because they are a recipe for a bad day. Oh. Luckily he didn't come into my lap.
I'm a little teapot. One of the things I'd like to do with my kids is we'll be traveling somewhere or doing something together or whatever, and I'll start singing a song that I know is going to get stuck in their head. And about an hour or two later, they always turn to me, especially my teenagers will look at me and say, "Dad, I hate you right now." But yeah, one of my favorites is I'm a little teapot, so I started Chad on it. And sure enough, man got it stuck in his head.
I'm out here trying to teach guys how to fish, and Gene gets this song I'm a Little Teapot stuck in my head, which will be the last song that I would put on a Getting Motivated to Catch Fish playlist. But it's also one of those songs that once it's stuck in your head, it's stuck in your head. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. This is my handle, this is my spout. When I start to fill up, hear me shout. Tip me over and pour me out. You know, throughout the course of this season, it just so happened that Gene just kept ending up in the episode. And by the time it was all said and done, he started making jokes about he might as well be the co-host for the season. But after this season, I think Gene got a better understanding of what it's like to have a cameraman following him around at all times.
Fishing. Big one, really big one. Oh crap, he's around your motor. Don't touch anything. Just stay right there. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about how to fight a fish when he wraps you around something. He wrapped around my cameraman's trolling motor, and all I did was tell my cameraman, do not touch anything. Don't touch anything. I'll get him. And let him fight. And same thing when they wrap you around a dock post or a stump or anything. A lot of times if you just keep tension, but let them fight, let them wear themselves out. If you just give them a little line and pulling it back and doing it really slowly, they'll unwrap themselves. There, I got him. Or you can go in and get them after they're worn out. Just be patient is the most important thing. Oh, unbelievable.
One of the toughest things about shooting this season was one of the best things about shooting this season, which is I was allowed to focus all of my efforts on North Alabama. The problem is there's so many opportunities. I could fish here the rest of my life and probably never adequately cover the opportunities that are available. So yeah, I know I keep talking about North Alabama, but I love it because I live here, and I live here because I love it.